Hi, how are you? It's Travis here, and welcome back to our adventures in Azeroth. Last episode, we had to collect 20 Witherbark skulls and put them around a pike called Nimboya's Pike.
How you
This,
doing, man?
this guy over here. We had to place it in a Witherbark village, and we did that to warn them that Thrall is coming for them because they betrayed him. They betrayed the Horde, and they will pay.
Zug zug.
And while we did that, we picked up another quest called Venom Bottles. And we got this Venom Bottle from a Witherbark village. And today, what we are going to do is we're going to bring this Venom Bottle to an apothecary in Tarren Mill. These bottles hold a vile green venom. Considering the number of bottles in this village, the Witherbarks must deem it very important. Perhaps an apothecary in nearby Tarren Mill would like a sample. So we are going to bring this venom bottle to an apothecary, and we'll see what he has to say about it. We also got into a little duel last episode with a hunter and also a warlock. Slayed them both. We were doing pretty well, but the warlock eventually came back, caught me off guard, took me down. He chased me, though, for a bit. He didn't just blow me up. He had to chase me down, and he caught me. So good on him for getting his revenge. I think I'm going to enjoy leveling in the hinterlands. Seems to be a lot of alliance leveling there. Kind of reminds me of Stranglethorn Vale. So it should be pretty fun. Kind of hoping this quest we get here called Venom Bottles gives us some more quests to do. Because I am kind of running out of places to quest at the moment. Level 46 and level 47 are not the greatest levels for quests, it seems like. But I think we will figure it out eventually. We'll get our... I think the thing is, in a couple of episodes, we should be level 47. Which, shouldn't be that bad. So we should open up some quests. I just think level 46 has been kind of rough. But we've been getting a lot of quests done. That last quest with the Witherbark Trolls was pretty good. We were able to slay 20 plus mobs, which was nice. It gave us a decent amount of XP. We pretty much were able to do 2 quests in one. Because we were able to pick up a Venom Bottle while we were out there. Still have that. We have another quest in the Hinterlands. Tons of quests to do in the Hinterlands. Atali Exile. Thinking about going to, I don't know, being in the Hinterlands for a little bit. Or maybe start questing there pretty soon. But the mobs seem to be around my level, so I think it might be a good place to start questing. Stranglethorn Vale is still pretty good. I feel like I'm kind of running out of quests there, or most of them are like travel quests. So I'm kind of wondering, or they're a little too high for me, I think. But it's not bad. But yeah, gold is getting tight in this game. With AQ 40 coming out, a lot of guilds are now implementing a tax on their guild members for around, I think, 20 gold a month, maybe a bit more. And it is to help pay for Flask of the Titans, because they will be needed in large quantities. I assume you'll need at least 2 for AQ40. And it makes sense why they would want people to have them. Well, their tanks to have them, because on Twin Emperors, I think that boss might be pretty tough without the Flask of the Titans. So that is a boss where you are going to have to split the tanks up, and they will both be getting hit by a different boss. Well, one of the twins, and you have to separate them on each side of the room, because there's a radius where they can heal themselves. So if they're in this radius, which is pretty far, which means you have to separate them pretty far. If they pretty much get one heal, it's considered a wipe. So I have a feeling that fight is going to be tough, and I think AQ40 will be a wake-up call for a lot of guilds, especially if they're still having trouble with Blackwing Lair. Because really the only mechanic that players really have to worry about in Blackwing Lair are mostly tank mechanics. And there's the mechanic that you see the most often is Wing Buffet, which is a mechanic where if the tank gets hit by it, I think they lose around 50% of their threat. Around there, but they lose a lot of threat. I don't know the exact number or amount, but they lose a lot of threat, so you don't really want your main tank getting hit by Wing Buffets, so you usually have your off tank taunt the boss to get hit by it. The problem with Classic WoW is taunts don't always go through, which means sometimes they get resisted, and that is when you need a third tank to run in and take the taunt. And that is kind of the hardest part of the mechanic, is when a tank gets resisted, the other tank has to be aware and needs to go in and taunt. And I assume AQ40 will have more mechanics for the DPS, a lot more dealing with trash during fights, and there are also multiple fights where you need more than one tank. So I think it's going to be an interesting raid. At the moment, AQ40 is not on the PTR, and I kind of hope that they don't have AQ40 on the PTR, because it would be interesting to see how these guilds deal with that raid without any PTR experience. And it also makes me wonder if they are going to release the pre-nerfed Cthun, or the Cthun that came out during the original Classic WoW that was considered impossible to kill. And I think that would be really cool if they introduced the one that was supposedly impossible to kill, and to see if the players of today can maybe take on that challenge and maybe slay Cthun. It'd be cool to see that for the first month or so. I wouldn't mind if my guild wasn't able to slay Cthun because of it being a challenge. And I would be really interested in watching other guilds try to slay him. Because that guild, that boss fight, Cthun is considered probably one of the hardest in WoW history. And it would be interesting to watch that. And it's going to be a big wake-up call for my guild, and I assume a lot of guilds in Classic WoW at the moment that have been used to not having individual responsibility during a raid fight. Because there supposedly is a lot of individual decision making in that fight that the raid leader can't really control or talk about. It's kind of the player just needs to know what they're doing during those situations. Like when people go down, there's not going to be a raid leader to tell you what to do. You just need to know how to deal with the adds down in Cthulhu's stomach, you can call it. And when they need to go up. It's going to be cool. I think I think Phase 5 might be the best phase for Classic WoW. There's just so much content to do. Like, our guild's going to have trouble doing it in our raid time, which is only 7 hours per week. Is the amount we raid. So, it's going to be tough. And interesting to see how much content we can do. I know we can't do all of it. It's obviously going to be off nights where we might do AQ20 or ZG or Onyxia when, you know, we have 20 players on. And I know we won't be able to probably fit AQ20 and ZG and Oni into our raid schedule until we have a good grasp on AQ40 and how to do it. But yeah, I'm excited for Phase 5. My favorite phases have been, obviously I liked Phase 1. The leveling up, the race to 60, that was great. The race to slaying MC as fast as you can, that was fun. Phase 2 was also a lot of fun. The introduction to PvP without Battlegrounds being introduced. That was great. Phase 3, I'd say was pretty good. BWL coming out. BGs, that was hype. And then I'd say Phase 4 is the most lackluster. Like, the ZG phase is, I don't know. It's kind of like it's a catch-up phase for new players. That's the way I look at it. It's probably my least favorite phase, is Phase 4. So, I'm looking forward to Phase 5. Alright, here we are. We are in Tarren Mill. Now we have to turn in Venom Bottles. So we have to speak to Apothecary Leiden. Haven't seen him in a long time. Hello, gentle Druid. The day has been long, and not a single experiment successful. I hope you bring good news to me. Ah, what is this? It appears to be venom from some arachnoid creature, I deem. And where did you get it? Alright, that's not bad. 3,600 XP just for picking up a bottle. Not bad. Next episode, we will continue our question line with Apothecary Leiden. And we will see what he wants us to do next. Check the bank here. Still have this Thundering Charm in our bags. Haven't hanged out in this inn in a long time with Innkeeper Shay. Probably the dirtiest inn in all of Azeroth. It's a broken down house pretty much with spider webs everywhere. I'm going to sell some stuff though before we get rid of these troll tribal necklaces. Get rid of this ham steak and this troll sweat. I don't want that in my bags. We are pick flask of mojo. Don't need that either. It should be pretty good. Get rid of these thick leather boots. Keep the silk cloth. Get rid of that thick leather belt. And there we go, guys.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Well, that is the end of the episode. We are now back in Tarren Mill. I think next episode we should be going into the hinterlands. Maybe we'll see what's going on with Apothecary Leiden, but eventually I want to move into the hinterlands and secure a flight point there and start questing there. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.